everyone. Jeff at Leo's Camera Supply. We now have the Lumix S1 cameras in stock, and we just want to do a little unboxing at this time to show you what's inside the packaging. So this is the S1 with the 24-105 f4 zoom lens as a kit. So let's have a look at what's inside here. As you can see, it's well packaged, where not one little space has been unutilized. So first of all, let's look what's in this part of the packaging. It's the instruction manual. As you see, we have in English, Spanish, and I'm assuming in here, the French version. So what we'll do, of course, we'll set these aside. Go on to this compartment, and this is the battery charger and cables. So what do we have here? This is obviously the AC cable, but what I know, this is the main power supply. So basically this converts 120 to your USB port for charging purposes. So as you see here, now I will go from here to the USB cable, which, as you see here, so the USB-C, which technically can go right into the camera itself, but in this case, we'll go into that portion. And then, as you see from the charger has a USB-C port 2. So from here, whoops, I just realized I'm looking at the wrong cable. That is the cable I'm needing, which is the USB to USB-C. So now, let me take that back out. This goes into here, and then this goes into here. Now you might ask, why the extra effort with a USB-C to USB-C? The main purpose, of course, not only can you charge the battery through an AC power supply, but now simply I could undo this and then connect this to an external battery pack. If you guys are familiar with your external battery packs to charge up your cell phone and other devices that a lot of people now own to charge up their peripherals devices like your cell phones and even laptops, this will allow you to charge it up from the laptop or those external battery packs from this. So if you're traveling, you could actually be charging your battery while this is in your camera bag and not having to stop and find an AC outlet somewhere. So that's the USB to USB-C type cable. USB-C to standard USB is to hook up to your computer, of course. But now inside, you have your battery. Battery, of course, fits right in there. And then you can, again, charge it from the cables I was just showing you. From what I gather, of course, with the USB-C, you could actually charge it up directly from the camera also. So those are included. Now this guy I mentioned in an earlier video is a bracket, a cable bracket that will then go mount to the side of the camera where the USB-C and the HDMI cables would plug into. The purpose of it is, of course, for transferring, charging, powering the camera, and also with the HDMI cable to do external video recording on an external video recorder like the Adamus Ninja series as an example. So I'll demonstrate that just in a moment. Next strap, of course, a real nice wide one to distribute the weight properly. Now let me just move this aside. Now in here, of course, is the main item that we're all looking forward to, is the camera. So there we go. That's the S1. Let's have a look at that sensor. So now I'll put that aside for a moment. In here, we have the lens. So this is the 24-105 f4 zoom lens. And for some of you that might not be familiar with the fact that the camera and the lenses are weather sealed. So you're going to find an O-ring sealing up the mount, and the lens itself can withstand moisture like your rain, snow, dusty environment wise. Of course, the camera or the lens includes the lens shade, which, as some of you might remember, some manufacturers don't include the peripheral lens shades. So now you have that included with it. Let's actually move this aside now and show off the camera there. Red dot to red dot. So, of course, I don't have the battery charged up at this time, so I'm unable to demonstrate that aspects of it. But as you see, this is the camera with the lens, tiltable screen, as we were mentioned before, the memory card socket, which, by the way, I didn't mention in the earlier video, the QXD card slot, there will be a firmware update that will then allow you to use the new CF Express card format too. As I mentioned earlier in the video, this is included with the camera, and what it is your HDMI and USB cable support, or strain relief if you want to call it that too. As you see on the camera, there is a accommodation for this mount, and let me get this in right. So this now allows me to connect, for instance, the USB-C cable, and now it's covering, surrounding the main port and the cable itself, and then I would then pass it through one of these sockets here. Now the advantage of this is so that now if I'm moving the camera around a lot, or if somebody might be pulling on this cable when it's hooked up to the computer or a power source, and even the HDMI port here, as you see here, this allows me to now keep these straight up without any bending or twisting that typically moving the cable around will prevent the socket or even the cable from being damaged. Now this particular cable is a little bit thick HDMI cable, but now as you see, when this is tethered to an external recording device or a television, the idea is now with movements, you won't have anything to worry about the socket, the ports themselves to get damaged, which is an extremely expensive repair cost if that ever happens. And the other point too is that with cables bending back and forth, the strain point right here on both the USB and the HDMI cable typically gets damaged that way. And you won't believe how many times we have people coming in buying replacements to these because of those areas getting damaged so easily. So this is a simple plastic bracket, but it does so much to protect the camera and the cables for day-to-day use. For some of you that appreciate the standard unboxing videos, now I'm going to do a time-lapse accelerated repackaging video for this camera.